Hey everybody, it's here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today starting Swordbreaker Origins, doing our first playthrough. This game is going to be a visual novel. However, it is not going to have any fast forwarding options that we have to worry about, so make sure you start up a new game, and we are going to have to get through this manually. So once you start up a new game, the game is going to start out with an intro. You can blam your way through this if you want to. It's not going to be very important because we are just here for the achievements. If you care about the story, feel free to read it. But nonetheless, you are going to get to this tutorial screen that's going to give you the rundown of the basic user interface. So this is going to be the way the game is going to work. You are going to have your choices, which are going to be numbered. And then what you have to do is you have to make sure you pick the right choices in the right order. Just like any of our other visual novel guides, we will have what choices you need to pick in what order in the margin, so just make sure you follow along using that. That being said, this game is going to be a very choice-heavy game, so make sure you pay very close attention as it is very easy to get lost. Also, all the choices are just going to be indicated by their numbers, so make sure if you are using the text guide provided in the margin, you pay very close attention to what number goes in which order. Do keep in mind, because this game is going to be so choice heavy, one little mistake is probably going to send you on a really bad detour that is going to be hard to get back from. So if for whatever reason you do get lost, just make sure you back out to the main menu, start up a new game, and then just start back from the beginning. So with that intro out of the way, let's get on with the actual game. Once you get this far in, provided that you didn't get lost, you should be good for your first achievement right here, which is going to be good catch for 15 gamer score. We are going to be dividing the guide up by achievements, so make sure you do keep that in mind. Achievements are going to be your little milestones that you can use as bookmarks. However, that being said, unfortunately, the game is not going to feature a proper save system, so you can't save your progress to use as a bookmark. So just make sure, again, if you do make a mistake, you head back to the beginning of the game and just start over. Once we get to this point, we are going to have our first mini game. Unfortunately, during your first encounter with any particular mini game, you can't skip them, so you are going to have to play them manually the first time around. So for this first particular playthrough, our goal is to match up 6 of the firestones. If you make a mistake and match up the wrong ones, you are going to lose a heart, lose both of your hearts, and then you're going to have to use a continue. You are going to be given a few continues, and if you use all of them up, you are going to get a game over and then have to start the game over from a new game. So make sure you do keep that in mind and be very careful. So we are going to have to match these up by shape. I'm going to recommend this be your first match. Make sure you find the biggest flame piece right here, which looks like this. This one's going to go with the smallest flame piece, which is the one that barely has a flame on it. It's going to be this one right here, so make sure you match up those two. Now, the placement of these stone fragments are going to be random, and they're going to shuffle every time you make a match, so make sure you also keep that in mind. You are going to have to keep a keen eye out for the matches and not completely rely on a guide. So for the second match, I'm going to recommend you pick this one that has the spike sticking out of one side, and then we're going to find the piece that has that spike gap in it. So make sure you choose that, and then make sure you look for its companion piece, and that's going to be 2 out of 6. Then for the third match, I'm going to recommend this one. You're going to want to do the one that's going to have the diagonal chunk cut out of it, and that's going to match up pretty well with its other one right here. Then we're going to move on to match number 4. You're going to want to do the one with the huge spike on the side, and this one's going to match up very well with the huge gap on the side right there. Then for the last 2 pairs, which are going to be the hardest ones to match up since they're pretty much equally divided by 2, you're going to want to pick this one that barely has a flame on it, and it's going to go with this one with the tiny spike. And then finally, the one that's going to be perfectly divided down the middle is going to be the 6th and final one. Once you match all of those up, it's going to be back to the visual novel choice picking, so make sure you get that back into tune. Thankfully, after completing any one particular minigame, you are allowed to skip it during subsequent playthroughs. That is also going to include any playthroughs that you have done already and then have to go back to do a new game if you made a mistake. So make sure you do keep that in mind. Don't worry too much about making a mistake from here on forward, as if you do have to start a new game, you can skip the mini game on that subsequent playthrough. Nonetheless, our next achievement is going to be right around here, One-Legged Horseman for 10 gamer score. Once you finish up this segment, you should be good for 2 achievements right here. So first one's going to be Kenny. That one's going to be for 10 gamer score for killing the cannibal. And the other one is going to be Riot of the Dead for 15 gamer score for using the skeleton's help. After that chunky segment, we should be good for our next achievement right over here. This one's going to be the Yeti achievement for 10 gamer score. Make sure you are a little careful after this, as we're going to have a one choice segment before our next achievement. So make sure you pick this one, choice number 1. Then we're going to be good for our next achievement, which is going to be for 15 gamer score. Then we're going to have another quick 4 choice segments. Make sure you get through that until you get your next achievement. So once we get here, we're going to be good for the Harpy achievement for 10 gamer score. After this, we're going to have a singular choice, and then we're going to have a mini game right after this. This mini game is to arrange these shapes in the correct order. I'm going to show you the final product. Just make sure you copy this onto your game. Do keep in mind you are going to have 120 seconds to do this, so you do have a time limit to work with. So try to be quick on this one. But once you have it exactly like this, the game should automatically let you move forward back to the visual novel part. Once we are here, we should be good for the Cartbot achievement for 10 gamer score. Once we wrap up this chunk, we're going to be good for the Gorgon achievement for a 10 gamer score, and we're about to wrap up the playthrough. So one more choice right here, and then this is going to get us the last achievement for this particular playthrough right here, which is going to be our ending achievement, which is going to be Brave Hero for 35 gamer score. Do keep in mind that after this, we are going to have to finish up the playthrough since we need to save our progress. So make sure you make the last choice of the playthrough, which is going to be choice 1, and then make sure you get through the epilogue, and then after that, you're going to get to the end credits, and then make sure you keep going until you get back to the main menu. That way the game saves properly, and that should wrap it up for this first playthrough. Make sure you check back soon next time for the next playthrough, but that's going to wrap it up for now, and that's all there is to it.